You know that feeling when Wizards of the Coast drops a brand new class and your group chat immediately erupts like a wild magic surge? Yeah, no, that didn't happen with this. In fact, I almost didn't realize that Wizards of the Coast was getting ready to drop the first class that they've created since the Artificer. It's available on Unearthed Arcana, which is the beta playground for all new things Dungeons & Dragons. Introducing the Psion, a full caster running entirely on brain power and sass. And it's got everything. No spell components, telekinesis, free teleportation, body horror, bonus healing, psychic explosions, and oh yeah, it casually outperforms fighters and sorcerers at their own jobs. So today I'm going to do a deep dive where I'll break down what exactly the Psion is, what it does, and why it might be too much. Does this class really need to be a class at all? Or is it just a glorified sorcerer subclass with a trust fund? Let's crack this nut open. What is a Psion? Well, in short, it's a full spellcasting class that replaces traditional spell components with thinking really hard. Thematically, it's more like if 11 from Stranger Things joined the X-Men and then min-maxed their D&D sheet. It uses Psionic Energy Dice, which is a special pool fueling its features, doing things like modifying spells and triggering subclass effects. These dice scale up in size and number as you level, and they come back on short rests. Add in psionic modes, which are kind of like stances, disciplines that act like flexible metamagic light abilities, and one of 4 powerful subclasses, and you've got a caster that's optimized for control, utility, damage, mobility, healing, and just casually doing everything, like no big deal. So let's break down its mechanics. We're going to start with the Psionic Energy Die, because this is the chocolate fountain in the center of the buffet. These dice start at D6s and scale to D12s by level 17. It's not just raw scaling, it's reliable scaling. And these dice aren't just for flavor text, they fuel combat control. Things like moving enemies around, boosting spell damage, modifying saving throws, granting resistance, triggering debuffs, enabling bonus movement, and letting you do things like make shield explode on reflection, or cast Healing Word as a bonus action while doing extra healing. You can sense a theme here. It's a lot. And on top of that, psionic modes give you either attack mode, which lets you bypass psychic resistance and reroll damage dice, or defense mode, which turns you into a walking intelligence, wisdom, and charisma save tank. And because that wasn't enough, at level 7, you can bend initiative to refund these powers by burning your hit dice. Because the Psion's only real limit is how much rest you get between flexing on the party's martial characters. And that brings us to the first of many issues. Does this class invalidate others? Kinda. Then let's start with the fighter. The class that gets extra attack and can maybe force a save with a subclass, every 10 levels or so. Well, Metamorph Psion gets extra attack too. But theirs also lets them cast cantrips, shape limbs into literal acid-spitting meat guns, and debuff enemies while healing allies in the same turn. It's like if Wolverine and Baymax had a baby and enrolled it into Psychic Hogwarts. Or how about Psykinetic? That subclass gets a 60-foot hover speed, can reflect damage with shield, and force enemies to eat force damage just for hitting you. Meanwhile, your party's monk is in the corner crying that they ran up the wall and punched one guy. Am I cool yet, they say? And the Psion says, not anymore. And if you thought maybe sorcerers would hold their ground here, think again. The Psion's energy dice are basically metamagic, but cheaper. They're more flexible, not tied to your spell slots, and you want to empower a spell? Cool. Just re-roll dice. Quickened healing? Yep. Modify saves? Done. Cast spells without needing to speak or wave your hands around? Well, that's literally baked into one of their core features. And did I mention their subclass spells don't even count against your prepared list? There's no cons here. It's like the Sorcerer and Bard had a beautiful love child who then studied abroad in the I don't care about counterspell academy. Each Psion subclass is basically its own power fantasy. The Metamorph is the shape-shifting tank, building weapons out of flesh, heals and deals at the same time. Honestly, it feels like a better barbarian with a Harvard degree. The Psywarper teleports everywhere. It breaks spatial logic. It can swap people mid-attack and cast Misty Step like it's on speed dial. The Psykinetic is a force field juggernaut. It gets literal flight, bonus damage, AoE, crush spells, and reflection mechanics. And this is kind of what the Artificer thought that they would be, right? And the Telepath is what your mind would look like if it was a Discord server and you're the mod. Speaking of which, make sure to check out my Patreon and my free Discord server in the video notes below. The subclass buffs allies, probes thoughts without detection, and can mass confuse enemies while choosing what stupid thing they do. Insane utility and terrifying in social campaigns. Each one feels like a whole class crammed into a subclass shell, which raises the question, should this have just been a subclass? Of course, like respectfully, but firmly yes. All of this could have been set of subclasses. Aberrant Mind exists already in the 2014 version of the game, and Psy Warrior already exists. The themes are covered. The mechanics here could have been folded into existing systems, and instead we've got a new class that cannibalizes half the design space for other casters while invalidating the martial half of the player's handbook. The Psion isn't just versatile, it's really dense. There's so much going on in this class that it makes others feel one note by comparison. I never thought I would live to see the day that the Artificer looked simple. And while this may change post-playtesting, right now it feels like the Psion is less a new option and more a do-it-all hyperclass. So, is the Psion cool? Absolutely. It's cool as hell. It's stylish, fun, and opens up some really great fantasy space, especially for players who want to be Professor X in their campaign. But I think it's too much. I'm certainly probably not going to allow it at my table in its current form. It's like Wizards of the Coast took the most powerful parts of 3 classes, removed all the normal weaknesses like spell components, limited flexibility, and action economy, and said, let's try this as a full class and see who notices. Well, I noticed. And if this makes it to final print, it needs to be tuned down. Either scale back the subclass features, or remove some overlap with Sorcerer and Bard, or tighten how Psionic Energy Dice interact with the rest of the game. Otherwise, you're going to see a lot more Psions at tables, and a lot more fighters asking, I only get Action Surge? But hey, that's just one psionic opinion from your local rules gremlin. What do you think? Is the Psion a breath of fresh, brainy air? Or is the psychic equivalent of Elon Musk class ambitious, over-engineered, and kind of insufferable? Let me know in the comments. Drop a like if you're psychically compelled, and subscribe for more D&D content. Until next time, my friends, keep rolling those dice, and may your quests be epic.